Hello everybody, merry meet. How are you all tonight? I hope you're all okay. So we're back to turn these cards up and see what messages they've got for us. So card number 1, awareness. It might be time to stop looking for new things, new skills. I need to learn something new. I need to branch out into something else. I need to be better at things. In actual fact, you've already got all the skills that you need. You're already creative enough. You don't need to learn anything else. Do you want to make things to sell? Jo, Hope, if you're listening to this, I think this one's for you. Somebody's just whispered in my ear, tell Jo. Do you want to make things to sell? Do you think that the things that you're making aren't good enough? Nonsense. You make beautiful things. Sell them. Sell them. Do you feel that you're not motivated enough? This isn't for Jo now, this is for everybody. Do you feel that you're not motivated? Yes, you are motivated. You're talking yourself out of things. You don't need anyone else to tell you what to do or to motivate you. You are enough. Do you have some psychic skills? Are you sensitive, but you're doubting yourself? That last little bit is for Cherie, because Cherie, you're enough. You can do this. You're amazing. You're more than capable. More than capable. You've already got the skills that you need. You don't need to look around for more. You've already got the skills that you need. It's just a case, and I know it's very hard. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. You stay focused. You've got all the abilities that you need to move forward, and if earning a bit of extra money is what you want to do, you've already got the skills. You can do that, and don't be afraid to charge for things either, by the way. That spirit have just said that in me. Don't be afraid to charge people either. So card number 2, choose wisely. Well, fairly self-explanatory. Stop dashing around trying to decide what to do. Do you remember I said at the last video or the video before that when I'd asked my mentor in spirit what this year had in store for us, he said changes all around. Well, it's time to stop running around trying to decide what to do and stand still, look at all the opportunities in front of you and make a decision. You're wasting time. You're setting off down paths that aren't taking you anywhere. I've just said a minute ago with the other card, trust your gut. Do what feels right. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Walk away from it. You can do anything. You can do anything, but you're wasting time at the moment. You're not making a choice. You're trying to do 3 things at once. That's not going to work. You're going to exhaust yourself and fail. And then you'll blame yourself for failing. See, like a hamster on a wheel. You know, you stop running around, stand still, listen, and think things through. And then you'll know, you know, you can choose wisely which path you're going to go down. So just stop for a little while and think about things. Card number 3, authority. There's an important man coming into your life. Now, it might be romantically, but usually this means this man might be a teacher, a doctor, a solicitor. Very wise chap, knows his stuff, he knows what he's talking about. So, bearing in mind that he's come into your life or he's been recommended to you and you've gone to see him, it might be a good idea to actually listen to what he's telling you. There's no point in going to see somebody who's a specialist in their field or who knows what they're talking about, who knows the law, whatever this man might be, and then completely ignoring what they've told you. What's the point in going to see them? You need to let this person guide you. You need to listen. You need to do what they suggest. Without the proper advice, how are you going to make an informed decision? You're not. You're just going to guess and take a stab at something, and when it fails, you'll think, oh, I don't know why that failed, I'm sure. Well, listen to this man and be guided by what he says. Sometimes we all have to put our ego to the back seat and say, right, I need help, please help me, and I'll do what you say. So again, bear in mind, it could be a doctor, could be a teacher, it could be a tutor, it could be a solicitor. Yes, it could. No, I don't tend to think, but it could be a new relationship. But, you know, recognize it for being don't discount him. You know, for those of you who have relationships and again, you don't trust yourself enough to move forward with it, you know, listen. But I don't, he doesn't usually mean, for me anyway, he doesn't usually mean a relationship, but very occasionally it can be. But whatever his sphere of expertise is, listen to him and do what he tells you to do. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Okay, 3 nice cards, very positive cards. Yeah, I like all of those, all of them. So listen to, you know, take to heart. Again, if you looked at all 3, you can put all 3 and the meanings together and use all 3 of them. If you were drawn to 2 of the cards, you put them together. Whichever, again, trusting your instinct, whichever card feels right for you, that's the one you should choose. Right, briefly now getting on to some frills. I mentioned I was starting a new book. I'm just starting putting the cover on today because today is a handshake day where I put pins in this and I like a pin cushion. I've pricked myself that often. Don't know what it is, the shaking, they think it's something to do with the weird brain thing. But every so often I will, and if there are white hairs on it, there's a reason why witches don't usually have white cats. How to make these books cheaply is what I'm trying to get at. Because money's tight, is it not? For a lot of us it is. We've got to watch the pennies now. I'd love to go to Hobbycraft and go mad, but at the moment it's not happening, and I think a lot of us are in the same boat. Gas and electric, food, everything's going up, and you know, making things, some hobbies have to take a back seat unless you find another way to do things. Now, you've probably heard a lot of these things I'm about to say because there are already a lot of videos that show you how to make books, but we all make things differently. Some things are peculiar to one person. Mine is just do them as cheaply as possible so that they look lovely but cheap, so that you don't feel guilty for spending money that should have gone on something else. So you want to, this book is black and white and silver. So first thing, well, I better go and buy a metre of material. No, don't bother with a metre of material. Go to Asda, buy a packet of 2 pillowcases. This inside here is a piece of cardboard, ordinary cardboard box. We're standing outside our local shop taking some cardboard boxes that he'd put out, and his delivery man came and said, "Do you want boxes?" I said yes. He went in the back of the van, came out with the boxes. There you go, cut them up. Doesn't have to be expensive card stock or anything like that. So you cut your, oh, and then it's got batting on it. I can't think of another word for batting because that's what I've always called it. Spongy stuff that you pad stuff with. So it's got a sheet of that on. Again, very, very cheap. Find the shop nearest to you that sells it cheaply. So it's a cardboard box. This piece has been cut from a box. There's some padding glued to this side of it. This is going to be the cover. Tomorrow, hopefully, when my hands have stopped shaking and dithering, I'm going to cut around there, tidy it up, tuck it in. That's the book backed. Then I'm going to get another piece of cardboard and I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the pages, and then I'm going to make a small page for in the middle that for pockets. What sort of, again, you can go to Asda. They've pillowcases of every shade that you could possibly want. My favourite place to get crafting stuff is charity shops. eBay is another cheap one. The fabric that I've got for this book is from eBay. It was under £10, and it'll do the whole of the book and probably some more books in the future. I love charity shops. You can find anything in a charity shop. You try going into a haberdasher's and saying, I want 2 meters of, or I want 1 meter of lace or what have you. Well, brace yourself, because it'll be very expensive. However, you can go to a charity shop, buy a top like this. You've got lining, 2 lots of it. That's beautiful, because that's silk. Then you've got the sort of net, and then you've got this. How beautiful. You can put that on top of, you see what I mean? That on top of the black. You can, I've got green tops in my cupboard that I'm going to take the lace off, because I'll be doing a book after this one that has a lot of green in it. Charity shops, what else can you get? Frames. I get my frames from a company called, they're on Etsy, and they're called Blumar Designs, and they're very, very light, very light. They're a little bit difficult to paint because they're so fragile. You've got to paint them on a hard surface, and they're very finicky. You've got to be very careful, but they're beautiful and they weigh absolutely nothing, but you've got to be very careful with them. They're not expensive either, but sometimes, as I say, we're tightening the purse strings even more. We've got to think, well, you know, I could do without spending that. So where do you go? The Range. They have cardboard photo frames for, I think, £2. Some of them are under £2. Little cardboard ones that are patterned, square ones that are different colours. If it isn't the colour that you're working with for a particular book, paint them. The Works, I love the Works. They've got them in there, ready-made. If they're not the right colour, either cover them with fabric or paint them up, whatever you want to do. Jewellery, charity shops. Lace you can find in charity shops. That lace, beautiful. Charity shop. I think there's a metre of it. I think it cost me 25 pence. Ribbons, that was on some packaging. I'll use, if I can use that little bit I will, but I'll cut that off and use the bow. It cost me nothing because it came off a present, a package. Another, I love this. This is a charity shop find. This was 15 pence. Now it's supposed to go onto the, like the collar, the front rather of a dress, but you can cut that up and make other things out of it. There are so many things that you can find in charity shops. This sort of thing. Now this, the book I'm doing is, she likes sparkles, everything sparkles. That was 10p because there's something missing off the front. I can either put that on the book that way, or I can cut it apart and use the diamantes separately. Again, charity shop, next to nothing. All of these charity shops, 10p. Cut that up and use the diamantes. That was in a bag of stuff, and I think she charged me 10p for the bag. You can get so much stuff in charity shops, very, very cheap, and obviously you're helping the charity as well. You can get things that are made for wreaths, but you could cut those up if you wanted and put them on the cover of a book. Those were something and nothing again in a charity shop. All this sort of thing, charity shop. That was there from a tablecloth that I found in a charity shop and cut it up, cut all the flowers out. I've got a bag full of flowers. You don't have to spend an awful lot of money to make things like this, because, as I say, at the moment nobody has a lot of money. We need to make things stretch. We need to make things last. We need to find cheaper ways to do things, but so that they still look just as good. And importantly, it's nice to have something to do. It's important sometimes to have things that distract you, quiet your mind, that sort of thing. Sometimes if I'm having a day like today when my hands are a bit shaky, I can't do so much practical stuff, but I can make notes, I can plan things, I can sort lace out, and Andy brings the stuff in and I'm in bed, and so I roll it and I set it all out, that sort of thing. Gives you, it takes your mind off things. It gives your mind something to do other than dwelling on, well, stuff that's going on with you. But it's the other thing, tags. Very expensive way to make tags. This again, cardboard. These, if you buy packets of tags, you can find them in the works for next to nothing. But the same thing, if you have to get on a bus to go to your nearest shop or put petrol in your car, is it really a saving? So the box that I'm using for this book, I'll cut them a lot straighter than they are, obviously. Cover them in fabric, paint them, cover them in paper, a nice little ribbon on the top, and you've got a tag. The cards that the frames come in, that can be used for a tag. Tissue box, that come out of a tissue box. Again, cover it with fabric, paint it, that can be used as a tag, and it's a nice shape. Why not? Not all that sort of thing. Again, things that have come off clothes. If Primarni, wherever you shop, if you get a tag on your clothes, cut them off and save them, because you can cover them and use them for things. It's a case of being a bit thrifty. I mean, that's a nice tag, that's already done, but that was gifted to me. But some things you can get very cheaply, others you have to pay for, and I don't believe in paying for things that I don't have to. If you can get stuff cheaper, or better still, for free, why not? It's something that we should all consider doing. So I'll come back when I've painted some more of the frames and I've got the inside pages in, and the centre pocket pages, and I'll show you if I've put lace on or what have you. I'll show you what I've done, show you how to do it. So remember, all the places that you can go to get things cheaply. I forget things, so write a list. I write down anything, and you know what I mean. I make lists constantly and stick them places. Otherwise, I'll walk into the kitchen and I have no idea what I've come for. Or I'll pick something up to do, and Andy'll say, "Weren't you going to do such and such now?" Oh yeah, right, okay. So I'll do it. So I write things down. Make lists of places that you think you can go to get stuff cheaper. We all need bargains at the moment. And I have to say, I don't think the economy is going to get any better. I think it's probably going to get worse. So if we want to keep our hobbies up, we have to be frugal about it. So when I've got some more done to this book, I will come back and show you what I've done and what I've used. Have I used those cheap cardboard, things for tags, that sort of thing. Thank you for listening. I hope the card meanings make some sense to you. Please take care, everybody. Be nice to each other. Blessed be.